Okay, Thursday evening, and we are off to the gym to do our evening session. Tonight, mate, I'm going to train with you because I didn't get to train in the daytime, so I'm going to join you. So that means you need to be a bit more autonomous in your own training. So I'm still going to help you, but I do need to get some training done myself, mate, because I had a bit of a slow week last week. Rowan turned 11 this week, so he's a couple of days into 11. What's it like being older, mate?
Feels like I have more responsibilities.
More responsibilities? How?
I don't know.
You've only
I feel like I have a whole moustache.
You've only been 11 for 2 days. Nothing. What other responsibilities have you got?
I don't know.
You got a job. You haven't got a job to go to. You got a mortgage. Huh? You're about talking nonsense. So the only thing that's changed is that I put your program in a notebook with
That's kind of what I mean.
Well, that's what you
I've got
mean.
more responsibility in my training.
All
I kind of do my own thing. That's what I enjoy. I take my sweet time.
Yeah, all that's really changed is I've given you a notebook, and I haven't worked out how to do a better job of it yet. But what I've done is I've printed out your program in from the Excel spreadsheet I use, and I've just stuck it onto the pages, and I've used a very high-tech method of a biro with a pink bit of string. Especially, I chose a pink string, and I sellotaped it to the diary, and you just have to tick off everything you do. And it just means that you're a little bit more in control of your own training now, so you understand what's in the session and how you're gonna get the work done, and you can record little notes if something didn't go well. The only downside is, how long did our session last night take?
Like 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Well, yeah, nearly 3 hours, and that's because when you're training with me normally, I'm pushing you forward and I'm going, right, let's have this plate on, let's get this weight done, let's get this warm up done, or whatever it is.
The only difference from yesterday is usually I'm like, oh, I want an extra minute of a break, but yesterday you didn't have to tell me what to do. As soon as I did my pause bench presses, a minute later I was storming back to the bench and doing another set.
Well, you did on your bench, but
with my squat I did as well.
Well, the thing is that it's not like I've gone always 11 now, so you're just doing it on yourself. That's not what's happened. As part of your learning, part of your development is you need to start to be a little bit more self-regulating. So I've not. It's not that I've let you do it on your own. I'm still there. I'm next to you, or I'm training next to you. But you just got a little bit more like independence now. I want you to start to think more about how the session runs. You know the reason why it took so long yesterday. It was because we don't have that confidence yet to jump ahead in your warm-ups, your working sets.
And we did have a lot.
Yeah, there is a lot in the sessions.
I know it doesn't look like there's a lot on the sheet of paper, but let's say if it says 40 kilo for fives, but for 3 sets, that 3 sets makes it like 20 minutes.
Or bench pressing?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had like top set, your squats were like top set, like 70 last night, yeah, 70.
Actually, I can't say if it was 20 minutes because it depends who you are, really.
What do you mean?
Like, it depends who you are.
20 minutes is 20 minutes, isn't it?
I know, but you know what I'm trying to say.
No, 20 minutes is 20 minutes.
No. I mean, you could take forever to have your rest, or you could take 1 minute. Depends who you are.
Well, at the minute, your training is like a kind of a weird hybrid because you're playing rugby, so it's supposed to be like having more volume and less rest. That's part of what we talked about to improve your aerobic capacity as well. But we can't really say for sure yet, but we're supposed to be competing in February in Ireland. So you have to have one eye on that, don't we? So we're sort of preparing for that now as well. And there's something else going on, which I can't say on camera, but there's something that might be happening just before the end of February, which we've got to train for as well. But something to do with a TV show, but we can't. Don't say it, right? Don't say it. But there's something we're in talks at the minute with a creative team about doing something on the telly, but we can't say what it is.
Are you even allowed to say that?
I don't know, but we have said it now. But just don't say anything else, okay? Just move on, okay? So basically, we're kind of having to train to lots of things. It's not ideal, but last night when you squatted the fives at 70 kilo, they were powerful, they were fast.
There wasn't much a difference between the first one and the fifth one.
Not really. Just
Maybe just
I just need to
midway up, it was a bit slower.
just need to keep on at you about making sure your brace is great. At the top, a couple of the reps at the end, you were sitting back in the hinge a little bit rather than opening the hip fully, and I want to see your hip open. And then when you're bracing the bar, you've got that little movement on your upper back still. I want to see that you pull the bar down.
It slips down.
Yeah, but you're.
And then to get a big brace and the bar, and I have to like lift my chest up so the bar moves up as well.
I want to see you put it down and brace hard into the belt. Don't want to see any movement back, and we're still doing that. I know that you think it's not an issue, but when the bar's really heavy, it's going to become an issue. But anyway, it's not a problem. I'm really happy with how you trained yesterday. Next week we are off to Manchester on Tuesday. We're going to go see the WPC, the Worlds, and hopefully see Elliot from our gym squat a world record 436 kilo. Hopefully, that's what we're hoping for. And in the daytime, we're going to train with Kev, who's the bassist from Liartis Murder. And then on the day after, we're going to stop off at Newcastle under Lyme and train at old school gyms. Told you that already?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we train, I think Laura, we watch on Instagram, Laura Sancho.
Yeah.
I think she's going to pop over and say hello to you. She's a very strong powerlifting athlete, and she has got a lot of black work tattoos, which was pretty cool. One of the coolest tattoos we've seen. There was something else as well. What else are we doing next week? Oh, I'm going to skin dread on Friday, but you're not going to go to Nanny's that day.
Where's Mum?
She's coming to skin dread with me.
Where's Hetty?
Hetty's going to the other Nanny's. Yeah, bit of a night off. I had a really crap week last week. Last week I didn't put a deload in my training, and it just hit me all of a sudden. Just got really tired. So like from now on, with that kind of volume I've been working in, I need to take a deload. Because I'm old now, and just need to have a deload. You get a deload every sort of 3 weeks as well.
Right. Every sort of month.
Yeah,
I have like a week a deload every month.
3 to 4 weeks you have a deload. Hey Ro, you know what I was going to say to you?
What?
You know Will Smith, the actor?
Yeah.
Do you know how you find him in the snow?
How?
You follow his Fresh Prince. You tell your mates at school that.
I'm good.
You can tell them. Yep. Anyway, what I was going to chat to you about today is the internet. You know, like when I'm in the kitchen and I'm doing some cooking or whatever, and I've got my phone on in the background and I'm watching a podcast, I listen to a podcast, or I'm watching a video or whatever. How do you know what coaches or athletes to take advice from online? How do you think?
What? How do you know which ones to listen to?
Yeah, how would you know what you're listening to is worthwhile listening to? Like what would you look for?
If I didn't have you as my coach, and if I wanted a coach online, like just on YouTube or something, probably listen to someone that's more honest of what they do.
It's quite transparent.
Yeah. Like, what's that guy? The English guy.
English guy?
Yeah, the one who says like, don't eat this, eat this.
Oh, Eddie Abu.
Yeah. He's quite honest, but people don't like that. But me and you like that, and we like listening to Sam Sulek as well, because he's honest about what he eats.
Yeah, so like what I'll do is I'll talk about some of the people that I like to listen to and why.
I like to listen to Sam Sulek.
Yeah, so let's start with Sam Sulek, right? So Sam Sulek's a bodybuilder, right? So Sam Sulek isn't interested in strength. Yeah, he's not interested in strength, right?
Is he?
No, it's something he's said in his videos, right? He doesn't care about strength. He's a bodybuilder. So his only aim is to get big, build muscle, right? So what he's doing is he might use a lightweight or a heavyweight. It doesn't matter. He doesn't care about strength. He cares about growing muscle. But what I like about Sam Sulek is, even though he's really popular, he, like you said, right, he's just been honest. He's not telling lies about what he's doing. He's not. He has just signed a deal with a couple of companies, as far as I know, like Hostile merchandise. But he just does, like a little what we're doing, right? He just puts a diary out there. There's no bullshit. He's just saying, okay, this is what I eat, and his diet is poor. Like if you talk about health, it's not good for health, right? Like it's.
And also, he's admitted that he's on steroids, hasn't he? A lot of bodybuilders, I'm not trying to slag anyone off, but they do say that they're natural and you can just tell that they're not.
Yeah, I mean, like we spoke about steroids a little bit before. You know that it's got its place for certain sports and certain types of recovery, but if you're going to use them and you're going to, it's part of your sport, your job, then you've got to be honest about it, in my opinion, because you're giving people a false expectation of what they can achieve.
Yeah.
So Sam Sulek, he's very popular, and I just like the fact that he just seems like a nice bloke. He's just doing his own thing. He's a nice bloke. Look, you can criticise certain things about his form, how he uses machines, or his diet, and he's definitely not healthy. There's no way that bloke's healthy. But
you can hear him. Like,
he's out of breath, isn't he?
Just so little walk to the vending machine.
Huffing and puffing. But, at the same time, he's not trying to be healthy. He's just trying to be big, and I respect that he's just out there, and he's a nice bloke. Well, he seems like a nice bloke anyway, and then that's what you want really from people who've got those kind of platforms. The other ones, so Dan John. So Dan John, remember Dan John?
Nope.
We used to listen to his podcast in the car. Dan John. So
it's a really big guy.
He's not big. He's big. He's a biggish bloke. Dan John's a coach, right? He's written loads of books.
Is he American?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
He lives in Utah, and like his podcast, he takes questions from people asking for information about training other people, and he's got a background in training sports athletes in colleges, as far as I know.
And like American football.
I think so, yeah. And he talks about the weight room in American football and things like this, and I like that because it gives you an insight into maybe how you work with lots of kids at once. The thing with Dan John is he's quite keen on the idea, like the Easy Strength program, where you're lifting what you can on that day, and he talks about mobility and he talks about using a kettlebell quite a lot. I mean, personally, I do love the kettlebell, but I think it's a little bit limited for lots of things.
I prefer the dumbbell.
Yeah, but like what he's...
You could do more things to a dumbbell.
The stuff that he's talking about tends to be... it's more for the average Joe and like general population health, and I understand what he's trying to get across, and I like the simplicity of what he puts out there. So Dan John's always a good one. Alan Thrall, do you know him?
Nope.
Alan Thrall runs Untamed Strength. And what I like about Alan Thrall is he's gone through kind of a journey that probably I've been on to some degree, where like he's done different types of lifting over the years, and he's like strongman and powerlifting, this kind of things. And now he's had a child. I think he had a child. I'm not 100% on that. I think he has. And he's doing like bodybuilding now. But he put some videos on YouTube recently, sort of saying that he enjoys bodybuilding because he never has like a bad day. He just changes as he needs to and does a lot of reps, and he talks about he's quite honest about how he's feeling and how he's recovering. Like you like the bodybuilding stuff, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like we know that it's got its place, and it's how we build a big base as well. That kind of training, like so.
Like with powerlifting, if you have a competition coming up, you kind of like plan your weeks. So on this week I have to lift this. And if them 2 weeks go bad, then the chances that I'm not going to go to that competition are very high. But with bodybuilding, let's say if I'm doing like pull downs, and if I usually use a 30, if I can't do a 30 and I have to do 25, does it make a difference? You can still go to that competition.
Yeah, I mean, you can still make progress with a lighter weight. You're just looking for an overall...
Probably make more progress with a lighter weight.
It's about time and attention, isn't it? And getting the most out of the stretch. Stretch that tissue, stretching it, and then lengthening the tissue again. That's what it's about. But yeah, he's interesting guy, Alan Thrall. He's got a great take on fitness. Mark Rippertoe. Now, Mark Rippertoe is a little bit controversial. Mark is the guy who wrote Starting Strength. Have you seen Starting Strength in my office? The book, Starting Strength?
No.
So Starting Strength is a good place for people to begin their strength journey. And it's like, his idea is that you squat, press and deadlift in fives. And his stuff is all about having good mechanics, and he talks about a low bar placement with a squat. You probably heard him. He's that redneck kind of guy who says squats. Squats. You know what?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Squat. You say it. Squat. I can't. But Mark's kind of a little bit abrasive, so like some people feel like he's a bit too much. He's a bit full on, and he doesn't move. You know what I mean? He's got this thing like, this is how you train, and that's it. But Mark is only interested in strength. You know, so people want to bodybuild or compete or whatever. Then Mark, people get annoyed because they feel like he doesn't move from his like way of doing things. But his only thing is about building strength, and he talks about things that might seem a bit dated now. But like, to be fair to him, whenever I've introduced someone to lifting, I've always followed Mark's principles, and I think he's bang on for like getting the novice lifter to make progress. So I still rate him, even though I don't agree with everything he says. I still rate where he's come from and what he talks about. But my top, well, there's two actually. My favourite one to listen to is Matt Wenning. Do you know Matt Wenning?
I think I've heard of him.
You would have heard of him because Matt, when you did your comp in America, Matt was one of the people on your video wishing you well. He's a nice bloke. I like Matt.
What does he look like?
Bowl, big chest, got a tattoo here. I think his shirt that's in the video. You'll recognise him. I watch his videos a lot, and you have seen a lot of his stuff over the years. And like, you know, we talk about doing Wenning warm-ups.
Yeah. In
the gym, right? So like, Matt Wenning, he's got a really diverse background, and he's trained the military for tactical purposes. Do you know what tactical means?
Kind of.
Like, it means like to do a task, like being strong to do a task. And Matt is a world record powerlifter, holding powerlifter, and he trained Westside Barbell as well. And Matt publishes stuff about general prepared fitness, and he uses the belt squat quite a lot, and he advocates using the sled in lots of training, like sled drags, reverse sled drags, and he likes to talk about, you know, like if you're doing a tricep pull down, like he'll talk about using variations of the grip. So he'll suggest like you do a movement like a press, but you vary the type of press. And there's just, I know I'm glossing over it a little bit, and he'll probably hate the fact that I've been so quick to rush over his life's work. But basically, Matt is the guy who bridges that link between strong and functional, as far as I'm concerned anyway. Whenever I followed Matt's stuff and I've worked with Adrian and other people, I've always found that it has the best results and the best longevity. And the one thing I like about Matt is when you hear him talking about his career, he doesn't seem to have had many injuries through training. You know, a lot of people you talk to, they've had real bad injuries, haven't they? Like, or they haven't recovered.
Like me, I've never in my life had a big injury in general.
Not yet. You will at some point, because if you're going to play collision sport, it's bound to come. But you know, I put the Wenning warm-ups are like quick, fast, lightweight warm-ups or bands or things like this that we do quick. Let's start a session if we're going to bench, and we potentiate the movement by doing something that's aggressive,
like,
quick.
Let's say if I'm doing deadlift or something, I go to the glute root. No, what's it called? You know, the
Glute bridge.
The white.
Yeah. The Roman chair.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
we go really quick, and then if we finish with it, we go like.
Yeah, Matt Wenning talks about that a lot. You know, like when
slow down, fast up.
You know, when we do the wide stance on the Roman chair.
I don't get how that makes a difference.
Because when you take a wider stance, it hits you,
again.
It hits your glute medial, so it hits your glutes. With narrow stance, tends to hit like your spine erector in a greater way. But yeah, so I've stole so much of the things I've done from Matt Wenning. So I'm, so here's the thing: like social media, YouTube, etc. You can get a lot from it, but you've just got to make sure that the people you're listening to have got some credibility, and ultimately that it works for you, because there's all sorts of charlatans out there. And a good example, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? I love his, the modern bodybuilding book I got in the back of the car. I love that book. It's tried and tested, and you're not going to become Arnold by doing just what he says in the book, because you're not Arnold, right? He's got good genetics and he's a very unique person.
Like, even when you look at him when he was quite young.
Yeah.
And he was like, did he work on a farm? I forgot.
Family, something like that in Austria. I can't remember the full story.
I know he grew up in like a small town, I think.
Austria,
and
village.
he was really big.
Yeah, you're not.
Just anyways,
You're
biceps were massive. His chest was big.
Yeah, you're not going to be Arnold just by following his book. But what I mean is, there are things that old school bodybuilder has done that's in that book, like Dorian Yates and Arnold and like Ronnie Coleman, and then later on like Jay Cutler, CT Fletcher. Like these people, they've done that kind of work, and they're all kind of similar in some respect, the way they behave. So there has to be some truth in it, right? So yeah, that's how we decide what we're doing or what we're listening to online. But I'd be very, very wary of people that have got something to sell, because people that have got something to sell tend to tell you what they're going to make money off. Anyway, here we are at the gym. Do you think we'll get parked?
No.
6:10, right? It's getting dark now. I hate the winter.
6:10?
Yeah.
We're gonna have no time to train.
You're gonna have to get quicker tonight. You have to jump to your working loads a lot quicker tonight, mate. It's getting dark. I hate the fact it's getting dark. I can't remember. It's in your book, isn't it? It's in your book. Have a look in your book. There's one parking space.
No, not gonna be able to get in there.
Fuck's sake.
Who said no swearing?
I'll have to bleep that out. Okay, I need to turn this off so I can park. See you later.
Yeah.